Ukraine sacked Air Force commander and intensifies attacks on Russian territory.
Gaza talks on verge of collapse. Hezbollah resumes rocket attacks on Israel.
President Ho Chí Minh and letters with aspirations for peace.
You're watching today's news on NTV. My name is Nguyễn Thị and I will be your guide through today's latest update. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has dismissed Air Force Commander General Mykola Oleshchuk following the crash of an F-16 fighter jet, one of the valuable aircraft recently supplied by the West, resulting in the pilot's death.
Zelensky did not provide an explanation for the dismissal but emphasized his duty to protect soldiers and enhance command structures. Lieutenant General Krivonoska will temporarily take over the Air Force command. This dismissal comes as the Ukrainian military intensifies attacks on Russia's border provinces. Officials in Russia's Belgorod region reported at least 5 people were killed and 37 others injured, with some buildings damaged due to Ukrainian attacks. The commander-in-chief of the Ukrainian armed forces stated that their military has advanced 2 kilometers in the last 24 hours, controlling over 1,290 square kilometers and 100 residential areas in Russia's Kursk province, while Russian forces also strive to repel Ukrainian troops. According to the Russian Ministry of Defense, since the fighting erupted in Kursk, Ukraine has lost over 7,800 troops, more than 800 tanks and armored vehicles, along with 15 multiple launch rocket systems and various other military equipment.
Hezbollah forces in Lebanon has resumed rocket attack on Israel, whilst the Israeli military also launched fierce airstrike on Hezbollah targets. The conflict continued to escalate while the ceasefire negotiation for Gaza once again faced the risk of collapse.
On the night of August 30th, the Lebanese militant group fired about 40 rockets attacking the western Galilee region in northern Israel. This marks Hezbollah's largest rocket assault on Israel since the major offensive using missiles and drones on August 24th against Israeli military sites. In response, the Israel force also launched intense airstrikes on Hezbollah positions in southern Lebanon. Meanwhile, Israel's military operation, which began on August 28 in the occupied West Bank, still continues. The latest Israeli attacks in the West Bank have resulted in 20 Palestinian deaths, marking the bloodiest escalation in years in that region.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính has freshly issued a dispatch directing the strengthening of measures to ensure security, order, traffic safety, fire prevention and food safety during the National Day holiday September 2nd.
The Prime Minister requests that ministries, sectors and localities effectively implement directives on ensuring security, order, fire prevention, traffic and food safety. The Ministry of Public Security is tasked with combating various crimes and eradicating social evils. The Ministry of Transport to oversee passenger transport activities and strictly enforce regulations regarding security and safety. The Ministry of Health has been instructed to rigorously implement measures to prevent food poisoning. Provincial and municipal people's committees are responsible for ensuring social security, order and food safety, decisively preventing fires and explosions that cause serious consequences to people and property.
Coming up next are some updated news.
The Management Board of the Dongdang, Langshan Border Economic Zone announces that during the upcoming National Day holiday on September 2nd, 6 border gates in the province will remain open to facilitate the custom clearance of goods such as agricultural products, fresh fruits and electronic components. Customs officials will assign staff to quickly and accurately handle procedures, ensuring compliance with regulations. Border forces will maintain personnel to regulate import and export vehicles entering and exiting the gates to prevent congestion and security issues.
The State Bank has just released data showing an improvement in national credit growth, particularly in the second half of August. As of August 28, credit growth had increased by 6.63% compared to the end of 2023, recovering from a drop of 5.66% in July. Credit institutions have achieved 80% of the growth target set at the beginning of the year. According to the second quarter financial report, 11 banks saw credit growth of 10 to 14% in the first half of the year, mainly in major private banks. Banks expect even stronger credit growth in the last 4 months of the year as the overall economic picture is also getting more positive.
The government has issued a decree on the registration fee for cars, trailers, or semi-trailers pulled by cars, and similar vehicles produced or assembled domestically. Accordingly, the initial registration fee for domestically produced and assembled vehicles will be reduced by 50%. This reduction will be in effect for 3 months, from September 1, 2024, to November 30, 2024. Starting December 1, 2024, the fee will revert to its previous level. This marks the 4th consecutive year that domestically produced vehicles benefit from this policy. The reduction of this fee is aimed at stimulating the consumption of the domestic car market amid the challenges faced by businesses in this sector.
Peace for the nation and the Vietnamese people was the greatest aspiration and also the lifelong passion of President Hồ Chí Minh. On the 79th anniversary of the day President Hồ Chí Minh read the Declaration of Independence on September 2, 1945, giving birth to the Democratic Republic of Vietnam, now the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, let's look back on the value of the letter bearing his aspiration for the peace sent to the world.
In a letter written to U.S. President Truman on January 18, 1946, President Ho Chi Minh expressed hope that the United States would assist the Vietnamese people in achieving independence and pledged that if received support, Vietnam will contribute to building peace and prosperity in the world.
In the letters President Ho Chi Minh sent to the U.S. presidents, he clearly articulated the aspirations of the Vietnamese people for independence, freedom and happiness, which were simple but showing a great vision. He also wished to have good relations with all countries on the basis of recognizing independence, freedom, and equal sovereignty.
In a letter sent to the French in Indochina, Ho Chi Minh wrote, "Our struggle is not against France, nor against honest French people, but against the brutal domination of French colonialism in Indochina." In his last letter, written on August 25, 1969, just 8 days before his death, to U.S. President Richard Nixon, he maintained strong words asking the U.S. to end its aggressive war and withdraw troops from South Vietnam. In total, Ho Chi Minh sent 8 handwritten letters to U.S. presidents alone.
In 1967, President Ho Chi Minh sent a letter to U.S. President Johnson, noting that when American soldiers went to fight in Vietnam and died, American wives and mothers all suffered painful losses. How could the President of the modern civilized United States not feel pain for their losses?
President Ho Chi Minh also wrote letters filled with compassion, sharing in the sorrow of mothers who lost their children and wives who lost their husbands on the battlefield in Vietnam. He expressed tolerance towards the mistakes made by French and American soldiers in Vietnam. From 1945 to 1969, Ho Chi Minh wrote 85 letters to the world, thereby sending out 85 messages wishing for peace for Vietnam.
The last news has ended our bulletin today. Thank you for watching and see you next time.